Welcome everybody to Everyday People with your host, Jesus Washington. And today I have a very special guest. And this is Miss Dodi Cheyenne. Miss Dodi Cheyenne is a painter, is an accomplished painter. She's a mortician. She's a jewelry designer. She's a business owner. And a lot more. She's a poet and author. So we have a lot of things to talk about today. And we are going to get to know Miss Dodi Cheyenne. Hello, Miss Dodi Cheyenne. Are you ready?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to come on my show. I really
so
appreciate
happy
it.
to be here.
Yes. I'm really excited for everyone to learn from you. You have a lot of life experiences that can change the lives of many people. And that's the whole purpose behind Everyday People, is to bring unique people like yourself and to teach everyone.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Because I have an exciting book that's going to be coming out
Yes.
in a couple of months, and it's a lot of life experiences.
A lot of life experiences.
Steps to getting to your goal.
Yes.
Going from A to B.
That's the book I need. That's the book I need for sure. And I know a lot of us need that book because you went through this life journey and you're still going through the life journey.
Right. I need it myself.
We all need it. Wallah, we all need it.
I'm waiting for it to come out too. I want to read it.
Yes. So my first question to you is, what is your path to becoming an artist? When did you first realize that you wanted to go down the path of art rather than science?
You don't want to know about Dodi Cheyenne?
Well, I want to know about Dodi Cheyenne first. But before we get to this question, that's the question I wanted to ask you. How did you get your name, Dodi Cheyenne?
I was an only child.
You were the only one?
And at the time, I was the first granddaughter. So I was pampered and, they wanted to give me a special name. My father wanted to name me Cheyenne. And my mother wanted to name me Tony.
Tony? MashaAllah.
But as it turned out, my aunt named me. And she, you'll never guess where she got the name Dodi.
Where?
Out of a dream book.
A dream book? Wow! That's very interesting.
A dream book.
That's really good.
And it means in Hebrew, the gift.
The gift.
Or the beloved one.
Wow.
And actually both of my names do. And when I became older, I adopted the surname Cheyenne.
Mm-hmm.
Cheyenne is, the tribe of Indians,
Oh.
Native American Indians.
Okay.
And that name is, they speak the Algonquin language.
What is
And
that?
it's
So it's not English. That's what
No, it's their own language.
Wow.
But it's a, what do you call it? A part of a language. So someone who speaks pure Algonquin would never understand them because it's a dialect. That's the word I'm thinking of.
Yes.
And Cheyenne means people of a different language. And I thought, I'm an artist, and artists have their own language.
They do.
I'm a person of a different language. So I thought Dodi Cheyenne fit me well.
Woo!
Yes.
It's a really powerful name. And the meaning is extremely powerful too.
The Cheyenne people are a very courageous tribe.
Wow.
So they're a strong tribe of people. So I can appreciate that.
Yes,
Being
definitely.
A part of that.
So are you part Indian?
My grandmother's mother, so that would be my great-grandmother,
Yes.
was half Cheyenne Indian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really, the name represents who I am.
Yes.
Really who I am. The person and my heritage, and I'm an artist.
Yes. Like I was gonna say, like your ancestry is within your name.
That's right.
It's beautiful.
That's right.
It really is.
And I like being called Dodi. Nobody calls me Dodi anymore.
I call you Dodi all the time. Miss
Okay.
Dodi. Okay, so tell us a little about your background. Like, where did you go to school, and all of this good stuff?
Well, I was raised in a family of musicians, artists, and scientists.
Uh-huh.
And I was overwhelmed by that. My parents were musicians.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother was a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Her brother was a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And she had another sister who was a businesswoman in Pennsylvania. Because I was born here, I'm sorry. I'm a native Detroiter.
Yes.
But although my roots are Midwest, I also have roots on the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
where I was raised with my grandmother's family.
Oh.
So her youngest sister was an opera singer,
Mm.
and she lived in Europe for 40 years
Wow.
and sang. That was her career.
Yes.
So I had the music, and her daughter still lives there. She is an attorney, but she sings opera.
Wow.
So I was sort of overshadowed with, it gave me viable options, for a career. But that isn't what I wanted to do. My mother was a gospel singer. She sang with some of the greatest gospel singers. James Cleveland, Roberta Martin, Shirley Caesar, all
Those
of
are big
these.
names.
Those are big names.
Oh.
And my father sang in quartet groups,
What's
know,
quartet?
it would be maybe a group of 4 men or
Oh.
sometimes 5, and they would sing a cappella gospel music,
Oh, yeah.
and the thigh slapping and
Oh, yeah?
and
And you grew up seeing all of this.
right, and I traveled
Yes.
with them. So that was them. I was in the middle because I was in the family,
Yes.
but it was not what I wanted to do.
That's not what you wanted to do.
That was not what I wanted to do.
What did you want to do?
I wanted to draw.
You wanted to draw? What's wrong with drawing?
I would go to Wayne State University with my aunt, who was in school, and I'd sit in the lobby and wait for her to come out of class.
Yes.
And, I'd just have my sketch pad there, and everyone was, would admire, this small child drawing, and creating something. That's what I wanted to do.
You wanted to draw art.
And I always knew that.
But,
You
like, okay. So, how did you come out of that?
Well, my father told me when it was time to go to college,
Yes.
because it was given
Mhm.
that I would, be formally educated. I mean, that was a given.
Yes.
And he said, I will not pay for an art degree.
He made it clear to you, I'm not
He told
paying
me,
for
he
art
said, I'm
degree.
not paying. And I thought, well, what am I going to do?
Right. Right.
Because this is what I want.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you can go into science, you can go into law, you can go into education, but I want you to go into a career, have a career where you can take care of yourself and you're not dependent on anyone else,
Mm-hmm.
and you make a name for yourself. So, and my great uncle, my grandmother's brother, who was a doctor, he told me, he said, get good grades and take the MCAT, and your way is paid to medical school. And I really didn't want it, but I did end up enrolling in a pre-mortuary science program.
So you went through schooling and you
Yes.
graduated. You finished it.
Yeah, I hated it.
You hated it.
I hated it.
Yes.
I would skip classes and go over to DIA.
Really?
Yes,
To the art.
right. And Center for Creative Studies had just been built.
Uh-huh.
It was Center for Creative Studies then. And I would go over and I made friends with all the artists,
Yeah? Wow.
You
So
know,
social.
I was in a special group with them, and I made a lot of good friends. And one good friend I made was Gilda Snowden, who taught me a lot of things. And she said, are you sure you don't want to, come over here? And I said, yes, I want to, but they're not going to support me, So I hung out with people who had interests like me.
Yes.
I still, went on and finished, got my C's and sometimes a D. And
Well, at least you passed.
of course, though, my anatomical notes were perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would draw everything and I could relate. I could relate to that.
Yes.
I loved it. But I hung out with the artists, and Gilda taught me how to make museum quality paper mache.
Huh.
And I started out making this Flintstone type jewelry, beads. I couldn't afford the semi precious stones, so I would color the paper beads the colors of, semi precious stones.
Wow.
But I got through the pre-med program,
Yes.
and then I went on to get a couple master's degrees, but I knew then, like I know now, I am an artist. I wanted to do something that gave me access to people and interesting people. And I wanted to be able to express my ideas. I'm not saying that, there aren't interesting people in those other fields, because I know a lot of doctors and scientists, and I still, we're still friends.
Yes.
But that wasn't for me. Now, I enjoyed the sciences. I really did. I enjoyed the structure, the discipline. I was used to being disciplined, but
Well, I understand. I understand. I got a bachelor's degree in biology. I understand.
Yeah, the discipline,
Yes.
and the process, step 1, step 2, step 3, which is really, well, we'll get into my book later, but I understood that. I understood what going from A to B meant. There's a process, from doing that, and that's very scientific,
Yes.
in life. The process, going from an unknown to a known, or from a known to an unknown.
Yes.
The steps getting there. There is a God, it's eluded me the name of the book. Being in Time.
Yes. Being in the moment.
Yeah.
In time.
But it's by a philosopher, Heidegger.
Mm-hmm.
And Heidegger said that there are 3 types of people.
Mm-hmm.
One, they're the people who were born in a situation and they stay in that situation, throughout their life.
Yes.
They don't go left or right. It's just understood. That's where they are.
Yes.
So they go on, and that happens like generation after generation. And a second type is someone who's thrust into a circumstance by chance. They hadn't had no plans, but they were thrust into it just by chance. And then the third type is a person who has choices.
Yes.
And that's very important, because even if you're in a bad situation, many times you can make the choice to get out of it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. I'm the third type. I'm the third type.
Most people are.
Oh, most people are. Yes.
Many people are 1 and 2. I think, depending on certain times in our life, we're all 3.
Mm.
But,
Yes.
and there's some situations where that first type is very rigid, and it can be cultural.
Yes.
you know.
Cultural, definitely, for
Yes,
sure.
it
I
can
was
be-
thinking about that when you said, before you said that.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel pressured to be in a situation because of culture.
Right.
Like
They don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. They feel that they don't have a choice, even though they have. Everyone has a choice.
Some people don't.
Some people don't.
There are some cultures where there's, you were born into this,
Yes.
you will stay in this. And you will help the next generation that comes along to stay in this.
To stay in this.
And no one really goes, doesn't go anywhere. And
like static.
that's very
Stagnant.
unfortunate.
Wow.
The second type, as I said, the people, they're just kind of thrust into a situation,
Yes.
But we have a choice.
Yes.
And I think that in science, you have that A that goes to, that you draw that arrow, you put the little arrow there, and then you have B.
Right.
Well, that's fine because we all start someplace,
Right.
okay? And we're all going to get to B,
Right.
okay? We will get to B. You will get to that goal,
Yes.
whatever it is, but it's how you get there,
How you get there.
and what has to happen. Now, in science, that line and in between, those are variables.
Yes.
In real time,
Uh-huh.
that's life.
Ooh. Life.
you know,
That's life.
That's a
It's
lot
deep.
of circumstances, can take place in between getting from A to B.
Yes.
And that's what my book speaks to. You start with what you know. You make your decision. You have choices now,
Yes.
and you choose a path. Choose a path, and that path paves your bridge to get you to your goal.
Right.
So that's
Right.
that's the beauty of it.
That's the beauty of
That's
it.
the beauty of being able to go from uh, where you are and have a plan.
Have a plan. That's really, really important to
and be
have a
able
plan.
To make,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, did you find it like difficult coming out of like, okay, you know how like you were raised, okay, you were gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be a lawyer, you're gonna be this, and you wanted to be an artist. How long did it take you to break free and just be you?
How long did it take? I guess I had the type of personality. I sort of went with the flow, but I never stopped doing what I wanted to do.
So you still continue to do you?
I continue to paint, to sketch, to draw, to sew, to knit, to spin wool into yarn. I continued those things. But what was the other half of your question?
Like how you broke free and how you came out of it. Even though like your parents wanted you to be a certain way, or a
Yeah.
certain person.
Okay,
Like-
breaking free. I guess
Yes.
I made it a part of my life. I did what they wanted me to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
and I integrated what I wanted to do into that. Now, how I got from science to art,
Yes.
I had my experience with the students over there in Gilda and all those exciting people. I had started a line of jewelry
Oh.
with my little paper mache beads, okay?
Yes.
And at the time, there was, what do you call it? Mall being built in the Detroit area. It was Somerset Mall.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out with a friend because at the time, Neiman Marcus was called Bonwit Teller, and Bonwit's left, and then Neiman Marcus came in. But
Yeah.
it was Bonwit then.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my little Bonwit Teller card, because I was in college and I could go out there and, flash my blue cards. So we were out there together shopping. And where do I go? To the jewelry counter, of course.
Uh-huh.
And I saw this beautiful necklace.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked to see it, and I held it up. And I thought, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
It was textured, and I love things that have texture. And at the time, computers were more commercial than they are. People didn't have a computer in their home. If they were huge,
Yeah.
But I went home and I got an 800 directory and a Yellow Pages, and I called every manufacturer on the East Coast, to get parts, to start my line of jewelry. So
After that moment from the mall.
yeah,
Wow.
that was a great impetus.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I kind of moved away from the sciences because I had good jobs in the sciences.
Yeah.
I worked in mortuary science, and at one time, I worked with Dr. Werner Spitz. I was his intern, and I did an internship at VA hospital. And So I had done all that. But that's where I kind of moved away and eased into art, where I had my business that I created, and then I was beginning to feel like a professional. And I
Yeah.
was still doing other things on the side, busy, busy,
Yes.
always busy. I would tell anyone, where's the camera? Speak to the audience.
This way.
Hi. If you have a passion, don't let anything stop you. You can do what you can know, whoever your or whatever your spiritual person is that's helping you to lead you in life, listen to them. You're blessed because of that. But if you have a passion, never stop. Because you're paving a path to get to what you really want to do. That's your goal. My goal was to be a professional artist. And I had told a friend of mine, I said, I'm going back to school and get an art degree. And she said, for what? You have time, you have a studio space, you have materials, you have freedom. She said, you don't need another degree to validate yourself.
What you're doing, yes.
And those were, that really impressed me. And I was good and grown when she said that to me. But that's right. Some people have the opportunity. Wonderful. If you're going to art school, stay there. But some people don't have. Now, unfortunately, the classes are so expensive.
Definitely, for sure.
But you can do something. You can learn about the passion that you have. Learn to read about it. Meet people in that area. You can do something yourself.
Yes, for sure.
So
Now people use YouTube to learn a lot of things. Everything's
there
on
you are.
YouTube.
There you are. There's your education right there.
Yeah.
Get in with groups of people who think like you do.
Right.
Now you got a backup. You got your degree work, or that other thing that you did in the past, You've got that you can hang on to, and then you're really going forward with your passion.
Definitely.
Because that's going to create you.
Yes. Let me take a station break, and we're going to get back to our questions and the interview. You are watching Everyday People Live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and all top social media platforms. Make sure you like, you follow, and you subscribe, and make sure you comment. And your subscription also makes us grow and known all over the world. And thank you so much for watching WJZZ, the coolest station in the world. أعزائي المشاهدين، شكرا لمشاهدة Everyday People على قناة WJZZ Cool TV. And I have a very, very special guest, Ms. Dodi Cheyenne. And I also want to thank our sponsor, Pink Cab Express, for sponsoring this show. And if you would like to sponsor the show, you can hit this Cash App, capital J, 112233, capital W. And that's how you can support Everyday People via this Cash App. And let's get back to Miss Dodi Cheyenne.
Well, thank you. I think I really considered myself a professional artist when I started selling things.
Selling your art.
My artwork, my jewelry, and then I was still painting. And I had a couple paintings that were exhibited at the Grosse Pointe Gallery and other galleries, small galleries, in town, or I'd go to art fairs. I was in every art fair there was,
And you just joined, you connected with everyone and got into it.
That's the way you do it.
That's the way you do it. You
network.
Never stop.
You
always network. Yes. Yes. That's the biggest
and
thing.
You make your cards and you get your, I was writing poetry. The interesting thing is poetry was not the focus right then, but it was always there.
Yes.
I'd have a painting and then I'd have a line of poetry that I had created. And strangely enough, sometimes it was the poetry that drew the person to the painting. They said, "No, I like the
Wow.
painting, but the poetry is good."
Well, everything you do is perfect.
Right.
And on Everyday People, I only bring people who do multiple things. They don't do one thing. They do multiple.
Well, that's life.
That's life. Yes.
That's life.
Yes.
We have a choice. Going back to those three types of people, see, we
Yes.
have a choice.
We have a choice.
We can do that. There were many people in the boutique owners in the Detroit area. One was Dell Pryor. She had the Pryor Art Gallery. She carried my bracelets. I had these gorgeous charm bracelets.
Wow.
And Jacobson's in Grosse Pointe.
Jacobson's?
They supported local
Wow.
artists. And I had reps too.
Mm-hmm.
So they would send back the orders. They go to the major shows, take my samples,
Yes.
go to the major shows and send back. So there, I kept doing what I was doing, and people support. When people see that you like what you do and you're able to do what you do, they don't care if you have an art degree or not, If you're,
Well, that's the biggest secret I've heard.
really, you have to have confidence.
Yes. You do.
You have to be courageous and trust the step that you're taking,
Yes. For sure.
or you'll be, in the pit.
You're right. You're right about that one.
And then what are you doing it for if you're not going to be courageous and get out there and show people, look what I can do.
Yeah. That's the whole purpose of life, right?
Right.
Of all of us.
That's right. So the poetry, Dodi the poet,
Mm-hmm.
came about when I had, now remember, all during life, I'm doing all these things and keeping things, I remember one time I moved and a box was too heavy and I started to throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad I didn't, because that was the box that had all that poetry that I had written over.
Yeah, Dodi, you were going to throw away your poetry? La, 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 la.
Well, I hadn't done anything with it. And see, that's the other thing. You've got to know that something good is going to happen for you.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, so I kept it. The Lord had me keep it. Okay. So, what was I saying about the poetry?
You said that you had a box and you were going to throw it away.
Yeah. I had some friends over from, now we're going from Dodi the jeweler and the business person to Dodi the poet.
Yes. Yes.
Do we have time?
Of course we have time.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It's 5:30.
I had some friends over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Uh-huh.
And I had a very special friend over who I highly respect, Dr. John Telford.
Yes.
And,
As he has a show also on
Right.
WJZZ.
okay.
Yes.
What I didn't know at the time was that he was a poet. I did not know that.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I knew he was in education. And I had several people over for Thanksgiving dinner. And when they left, as they were leaving, because my bohemian modern apartment has to
Ooh, bohemian.
it's really junky, but
It's junky?
It's
It's bohemian.
but I have everybody's paintings on the wall, mine and other
What?
friends, and so he looked on the wall and he said, "I like that bridge."
Uh-huh.
I said, "Oh, that's my painting." Actually, it's the painting that I had done. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I did take a couple classes. No, I enrolled in the illustration program at Center for Creative Studies.
Oh, yeah?
Then it was College for Creative Studies.
What? Well, Dodi, you go through everything.
So I was there, and that's where I had taken, my beginning art classes and studio classes and creative jewelry design. So while I was there, I painted the MacArthur Bridge. Wow. Because I have this passion for bridges also.
Woo!
And, well, there, we're creating a bridge right now.
We are, for sure.
Okay?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
the audience
There's,
and-
bridges of life.
That's right. And so I sat underneath that bridge and sketched for about a month.
A month?
Yeah,
MashaAllah.
because well, now it's not just drawing a bunch of arches.
Yeah, it's
You know,
detail.
art, right? Art is a discipline,
Yes.
and I don't think people realize that it's a discipline. There's process there, And I sketched that bridge, and I had this beautiful painting, and it's in pastel.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at the painting, and he said, "You're going to write a book, and that's going to be the cover."
Oh,
And
I got
was
goosebumps.
you know,
You didn't
right,
take it
I'm
serious.
gonna
You're
let
just
them.
laughing.
Okay, glad you enjoyed dinner. And so I walked my guests to the elevator,
Uh-huh.
and they left. And I came back in, and this is the truth. I
Mhm.
came back in, shut the door, and when I turned around, the words reverberated. Write a book, write a book, write a book. Every time I would pass that wall, I'd look at the painting, it's like, write a book, write a book, write a book. But I cannot,
It's like your inner voice
yeah.
speaking to you.
Yeah, but I thought, a book, I'll keep painting,
I'll give anything.
and spinning wool to yarn, and going to art fairs and selling my wares. I was lying in bed, excuse me, one night, and I thought, and I dozed off, and I woke up, and I sat on the side of the bed, and I thought, I do have a book. I did have a book. All of that poetry, and I grabbed my house coat because my studio's in the same building where I live.
Yes.
And I grabbed my house coat, ran down, hoped the cameras weren't on, and I ran down the back steps. And I went in, and I pulled out this box, sounded like I was pulling Dracula's coffin out, from underneath. And, dusting it off and knocking away the cobwebs. I get chills when I say this. And I opened it up, and there they were. All of those hundreds of pages that I had just, written things on and put sketches next to, and done all the little research, on different poets that I enjoyed, people who I'd talked to, and, so the poetry wasn't just situational for life, it's just, and as I began to look at the poetry, I saw a language. Remember language? The Cheyenne,
Yes.
Elba.
Yes.
People of a different language.
Yes.
Here, I saw a language developing. I said, this poem goes here, and this one here, and I got about 60 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put the others back, and covered them back up and put the dust back on. And
The dust back on.
and pushed it back under, where it was. And I began to look at those.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I would look at them and I'd group them. And I saw a pattern. There were poems that were like just raw love. Just very primitive and, almost childlike, Then there were some, one of the ones that I loved, and those are the ones I put in step one.
Can you tell us one poem that you wrote?
Oh, yes. I wish that I could see you to tell you what I'm thinking. But since we are so far apart, I'll write to you what's in my heart.
Oh, Aywa! That's true love right there. Yes.
Well, it's actually I always envisioned it on stationery.
Mm-hmm.
Who writes letters? Anybody know?
Well, love text messaging. That's letter.
Right.
Email. It's digital.
But I always envisioned it on stationery.
Yes.
But didn't do anything with it. And then the second group, the poems were a little heavier. Was where experience and life connect. Love, life, and experience connect. So it was a development. And then the third part, a little heavier. The third part is called Love is Like a Bridge, Many Parts Holding Tight. And this is where you had the spiritual aspect coming out and truths, and just more mature development.
Yes.
And that's the way the book is structured. And I looked at it and I thought, people just don't pick up a poetry book sometimes. But they do write in journals. You guys write, you have a journal, right?
Yes. Yes, a lot of people write in journals.
Yeah.
Yalla habibis. I know everybody writes in journals. Mostly
Yeah.
everybody is.
And so I thought about a title, and I thought Love is Like a Bridge, because the bridge was very important to me, that theme. I wanted to keep it going. And then I found out that I think it's Alabama, the rock group Alabama, had a rock song called Love is Like a Bridge.
Woo!
So I couldn't use it.
You couldn't use it.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what can I, and I left it alone.
The title of the book.
Yeah, thinking of the title of the book. And then one day I was sitting in my dining room, and my apartment faces water, and the sun was glistening. I was looking at the water, and you see these little,
Waves. Or
waves, and then there were ripples.
yes.
And I thought, oh, waves along the bridge, waves on the bridge. Ripples. Ripples on the bridge. I got it. Ripples beyond the bridge. Because, you can toss something into water and it just goes out, it's energy.
Yes.
Dad, you hear my science?
It's coming out.
Right. Father, I used my science.
It didn't go to waste, mashallah. Oh, we have a caller. We have a caller, Habibti.
What are they calling?
Thank you, mashallah, for calling. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, that's good. I just was calling to say that you are doing such a wonderful job as a host.
Thank
And your guest, you got a good guest.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, I came in right in the middle of the conversation, what is
Did you lose her?
We must have lost her.
Oh.
Yes. Unless she can hear us. But well, let's continue with the conversation.
Okay.
Oh, here she is again.
Oh.
Yes, we apologize. You're
That's
connected.
okay.
You're back online, on air.
Yes. What exactly can you describe exactly what she does or what? I came in on the middle of everything.
I paint. I write. I play music. Right now, my passion is my poetry because I've written a book. And the book is titled Ripples Beyond the Bridge. And it's a meditation journal. Ripples Beyond.
Like RIPPLES, ripples?
Yes. Beyond
Ripples.
Beyond the Bridge. It's a meditation.
Oh, it's a beautiful title. Can I go on? How can you purchase the book?
Well, let me finish the title for you, okay?
Oh, there's more. Okay.
Yeah, it's a meditation journal of inspirational poetry, which most of the poetry is mine. No, all of the poetry is mine. And musings of the heart. So you'll see my poetry, then you will see what I call incentives or creative quotes along the edge to incite, to encourage people to, find their own muse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on with your own
Mhm.
passion. And it's a journal, and it's it's not a how-to book, but I hope that you will have a goal in mind, and I think the audience that it will reach will be very broad because the themes are universal: spiritualism and truth and beauty, so those are the things that, I write about, and
Yeah.
I want to
Oh,
encourage
that's
other people to
beautiful.
write
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
also.
Oh man.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not going to keep you all too long. I just wanted to get that information, and I can ripples in the river. Let me see. I have to write it down. I'm going to get the name of that book. I want to check it out. It sounds very
Ripples
interesting.
Beyond the Bridge.
Yeah, it's Ripples Beyond the Bridge, and it's going to
Oh,
come
I
out
can remember
soon.
that. Ripples
Yes.
Beyond the Bridge.
Yeah, Ripples
I can remember
Beyond
that.
the Bridge.
That's a beautiful title. Ripples Beyond the
And
Bridge.
what I'll
Have you
do
made a
is,
song to your book?
I'm sorry?
Have you made a song to Ripples Beyond the Bridge called Ripples Beyond? That sounds like it would be a good song.
Well, let's wait for the book, okay? And I
One
want you
step at a
to,
time.
right, it will probably be out around December, and
Okay.
it's something that I
Ripples
think you'll
Beyond
really
the
enjoy.
I'm going to look for that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it's
Well,
going to be
you
an
keep
awesome
up the
book.
good
I'm
work.
sure this
And
station will
young lady,
you'll inform
the
the
best.
audience.
The minute it comes out, you're coming back on the show, Miss Dodi Cheyenne. You're coming back again.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Wonderful.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you for
the
calling.
audience will look forward to seeing you again.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Thank you for
Appreciate
calling.
Okay.
Thank you for the love and support.
Okay.
Much
Right.
appreciated.
that.
All right. So, continue with the book. How you were sitting in your living room, and you
And I saw the ripples, and that's when I came up with Ripples Beyond the Bridge.
Yes.
And
Comments. Sorry, there's audience commenting.
Okay.
Thank you. Yalla, go ahead.
And it is it's a meditation journal, of inspirational poetry and musings of the heart. So, I'm hoping that the reader will read my poetry and be encouraged to not only, it's a journal, so you can write in it, you can draw in it, it's interactive, it's reader friendly. You'll find your own muse, and you'll go from your A to B, okay?
Yes.
Because you're going to get to B.
Well, I need this book. I need to know how I get from A to B. I need a book for that.
There is let me see, I'm trying to see, I don't want to give the book away, but
No, give us a little sneak peek.
okay, wait, let me grab my glasses.
Yalla.
Well, you know what, I'm going to let you read it.
Oh, what an honor! Well, thank you. Appreciate
Actually,
this one.
this is the back of the book, okay?
What? Yalla.
You know how you
I
pick
got
up
the
a
back
book
of
and
the
you look
book.
at the back, and then you look at the front and you say, who is this person? Then
Wow.
you read about the person, but that's the statement on the back. And
Yalla, I'm gonna read the book for you. This is the last page, Habibis. The last page of this one. Ripples. You and I have come a long way. One separate paths to our goal. At different times, almost touching. A quick glance across a crowd, passing by so near, yet so far apart, perhaps never to meet until now. Wallah, so nice to meet you. On these pages, I have shared inspirations and musings of my heart in the hope of encouraging you and drawing you closer to reaching your goal than ever before. I invite you to pave a path on the bridge that has divided you from your desired goal. Through reading, you will be guided to take steps to create new paths. Through journaling, you will share the gifts of the paths, giving you more faith and courage to continue building your bridges and reaching your goals. Toss your thoughts, dreams, and desires into the waters of life and partake in the gifts of abundant, sacred, and worldly wealth that awaits you beyond the bridge. Wallah, I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, that's if I picked that up, I'd buy it.
Woo!
I would buy it.
Wow. And the last part says, the steps in this meditation journal are your leading steps to much more wealth and many more victories. Take them. Take them. Wallah, this is beautiful. Wallah, thank you so much. I feel so honored. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you. Thank you.
honored too. Thank you for inviting me.
Definitely. Wallah, this is amazing. We're going to take a station break, a
Okay.
station ID. And we have last 10 minutes to wrap everything up. Yes. You are watching Everyday People live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and all top social media platforms. Make sure you like, you share, and you comment. Like your comments, thank you very much for heart this one. Appreciate this one. And make sure you subscribe because your subscription will put us on the map. And you will see more of us every single week on Thursdays. And thank you so much for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. أعزائي المشاهدين شكرا لمشاهدة WJZZ the cool شكرا لمشاهدة Everyday People على قناة WJZZ Cool TV. And thank you so much to our sponsor, Pink Cab Express. And if you would like to be a sponsor on the show, you can hit this Cash App, capital J 112233 capital W. And I want to thank Miss Dodi Cheyenne for sharing her beautiful, beautiful gift of art,
And
of poetry. You author, you do many, many things, and mashallah, you went to medical school.
Do we have a little time?
Yes, we have a little time.
I have one poem.
Yalla, we're gonna do a poem. Yalla, Miss Dodi
Okay.
Cheyenne.
This is, let me put my glasses on.
Yalla, put your
I
glasses.
like my glasses.
Yes, I love your glasses.
Okay. It's called Paths.
Mhm.
It says, like lanes on a highway, they form in our life. Paths to be taken to the left or to the right. Some curve like a snake, some remain straight. Whichever the direction, it's a path to our fate. Excuse me. We choose according to the decisions we make, the path to our future on the bridge we create. Like lanes on a highway, they shape our life, the paths that are chosen to the left or to the right.
Woo! To the left or to
And
the
the
right?
quote that inspired me to write that was from a movie called The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon and Emily Blunt. I'm a hopeless romantic, but this is a great movie. It has a lot of deep, profound messages. And this quote says, most people live life on the path set for them, too afraid to choose another.
Oof, that's deep. Gave me back chills. Not arm chills, back
Too
chills.
afraid. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid to be
Don't
who
be
you
afraid.
are. Yes. Definitely.
Because you're going to get to the B. When you start at A and, then you draw that arrow and it goes to B, you're going to get to B. But it's how you get there and what kind of goal you want when you get there.
Yes. And Miss Dodi's book, is coming out in
Yeah, a
December.
couple months.
In a couple
I'm working
months.
with a publisher now. So.
Yes, and it will help you with your life journey, and it will give you a better understanding how to go about different things. Because, mashallah, Miss Dodi Cheyenne already went through it for
Right.
all of us.
It can be done. Life is fun.
Life is fun. Wallah, you're right about
This
that
is
one.
an adventure.
This is an adventure, yes.
that God really wants you to have.
Definitely.
He wants you to have it.
Definitely, for sure. I want to basically, I want you to, in 2 minutes, give our audience some type of advice that they can take with them until they see you on the next time when your book comes out. What is your message to all of our viewers?
Believe in your creator. If it's God, believe in God. Believe in yourself. Pray. Put God and your passion first, and your path will be made. He will make sure you get to that goal you want. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Never.
Never give up.
Never give up.
That's the best advice. I always say, as usual, Nike, just do it.
That's right. Just do it.
Just do it.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be
Just do
afraid.
it.
Just do it. If you're gonna put on Nike and you just put on Nike, why can't you do the same thing with your life? Mashallah, same
And
thing.
Find some other people who have done it.
Yes,
And
mentors.
stay with them. Don't find somebody who's, well, I guess I might. No.
Go with the people that do it. Just do it. Yes.
Right,
Well,
thank you.
Yes, Miss Dodi Cheyenne, I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for sharing all this beautiful information. I can't wait for your book to come out because I'm going to be the first one. Okay, I'm going to be the first one, Habibis, to get this one. And as soon as your book comes out, we're going to have you back on the show, and we're going to read a lot of things.
Oh, joy. Thank
Yes,
you.
and we're going to share with the audience about the book and the different life journeys that you went through to help guide us to go from point A to point B. Thank you so much for watching Everyday People with your host, Jesus Washington. Until next time, love.